test. All right, we'd like to give a big welcome, introducing our Deputy Executive Director, Administration and Operations for the Port of Long Beach, Dr. Noel Hasegawa.
Hey, hello everybody. It's so great to see all of you here in person and those who are watching the live stream. Thank you so much for joining us for this very, very special event brought back by popular demand. As you heard, my name is Noel Hasegawa, and today I have the honor of serving as your Master of Ceremonies for a portion of today's Green Port Fair, which is a celebration of our trailblazing environmental programs for you, our community. Now let me welcome you to this afternoon for a day of exploration, learning, entertainment, food, fun, and much, much more. And before I introduce today's speakers, I would just like to acknowledge anyone who's here on behalf of an elected office, whether you're the actual member or the staff member. I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your collaboration, partnership over the years. And a big thank you to all of you for being us here today, because your support and collaboration is what allows us, and a big reason why the Port of Long Beach is a global leader in sustainability and environmental stewardship. Now, to begin our program, it's my pleasure to introduce Bonnie Lowenthal. Bonnie Lowenthal is one of our 5 harbor commissioners, and she currently serves as a secretary on the Board of Harbor Commissioners. Before joining the Board of Harbor Commissioners here at the Port of Long Beach, she served in the State Assembly, and before that, at the City Council and at the School Board. And her vast experience in elected office and policymaking has been a tremendous benefit for us here at the Port, in particular on our green initiative. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Bonnie Lowenthal.
Thank you so much, Noel, and hi everyone. Oh, louder, louder. Come on. Hi, everyone. Okay. What a beautiful day to have this event. I'm really appreciative that you joined us and are looking at one of the world's greatest seaports. So on behalf of the entire Board of Harbor Commissioners, Sharon Weissman couldn't be with us today, and she sends her regrets. I do want to welcome you to the Green Port Fair. Today, we're here to show you why the Port of Long Beach is considered the premier green port. Throughout our industry, this port is regarded as a leader in seaport sustainability, thanks to the many programs that followed our adoption of the pioneering green port policy in 2005, almost 20 years ago. Since then, we've dramatically improved air and water quality, protected marine wildlife, implemented sustainable practices at the port, and inspired similar initiatives at seaports around the world. If you were a time traveler from those pre-Green Port policy days, you'd feel the difference in every breath you take. We've launched countless milestone environmental programs, and together in 2006, with the Port of Los Angeles, we created the landmark Clean Air Action Plan, or CAP, you'll hear it referred to, a sweeping, innovative, and comprehensive strategy designed to tackle every single source of port-related air pollution, so that today, vessels, harbor craft, drayage trucks, locomotives, cargo handling equipment here have significantly reduced their harmful emissions. We're sponsoring clean technology research and demonstrations throughout the port, and some of that equipment is on display today for you to see. Our environment programs also extend outside the port. Some of you have experienced them and seen them close up. We offer grants for community-based projects to reduce the effects of port operations. The port has committed $65 million for the Community Grants Program, the largest voluntary effort of its kind by any seaport in the United States. Let's give a hand to the Port of Long Beach. Thank you. But, you know, as much as we ask of our industry partners, we also ask the same and do the same ourselves. So when we buy a new vehicle, it's the cleanest one on the market that meets our requirements. You know what, I could go on, but I don't think you want me to. We have more people for you to listen to and a lot for you to see. I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the afternoon.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Lowenthal. And as you can see, the Port of Long Beach has a resume that goes back many years, and we continue to push the envelope. Now, before I introduce our next speaker, I want to introduce you to Sammy the Seal. Isn't he cute? Or she cute? And if you'd like to take one home with you, all you have to do is visit the communications booth there at the entrance, fill out a survey, and you can take one of these home with you. Our next speaker has been involved in the management of ports for over 20 years. He's previously served on the Long Beach Harbor Commission before he was appointed by then President Obama to serve at the Federal Maritime Commission, where he eventually served as chairman of the FMC. And that's before he came back to the Port of Long Beach in 2017 as executive director. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Port Executive Director, Mario Cordero.
Thank you, Noel, and thank you, everyone, for being here. I think, first and foremost, let me recognize the people that are responsible for putting this together. This has been a great year for the Port of Long Beach in many respects. And it's a time for us to start celebrating the milestones that we have accomplished here, particularly on the environmental front. We have a great story to tell, and I think we have many accomplishments. And we're not done. But let me, first of all, let you know that this Greenport Fest that you see here, we kind of put this together in a relatively short time because of two reasons. One, we were trying to kind of test the COVID era socialization type of agenda, whether or not we would do this. Obviously, you're seeing more and more events in the community now. So we made a last-minute decision that before the end of the year, we were going to have the Greenport Fest to take off from the last Greenport Festival, which was held back in 2010. So with that, I want to make sure we acknowledge all the effort done by our communications department, led by Carrie Giroux and Stephanie Montoya Mariski. Stephanie, where are you? Carrie, you're back here? Or what there you are. And all the work that's been done by the staff here on the environmental planning. So again, as you all know, the Port of Long Beach is known as an environmental leader in this industry for many of our initiatives. And this stems going back to 2005. In 2005, the then Port Commission decided that we were going to move forward with a leading policy, a policy that was going to lead the Port of Long Beach to have a roadmap in terms of doing what we needed to do to address the issue of emissions. That policy was the Greenport policy. It set out a 5-point plan of action. And because of that point of action, you have seen tremendous success in the reduction of emissions, particularly from trucks. In fact, here today is one of the, or probably the person who put together the Greenport policy as we know it, Geraldine Natz, who was at the time Environmental Planning Director. Geraldine, you want to stand up? There you go. And back in 2005, many people questioned as to whether or not we would actually do anything with this. Was this just greenwashing? Was this just public relations as opposed to a plan of action? I think now that we hear in 2022, I think that question's clearly been answered. We've had some substantive milestones. And in that regard, I will tell you, I just returned from Korea and ports around the world. We were hosted there by the Busan Port Authority for the International Port Conference in Busan. It was stated by the CEO of Busan Port Authority that Korea is 20 years behind the Port of Long Beach, noting that the Port of Long Beach is a world leader on green port policies. So it truly has been revolutionary. We've addressed the issues of a vessel emission, the issues of truck emission, the issues of emission from locomotives, and the issue of cargo handling equipment. So with that, let me give you a few highlights in terms of our story with regard to our commitment to the environmental agenda. I mentioned one, 2005, the Greenport policy. The second milestone was a year later, in 2006, the Clean Air Action Plan. That was a commitment by both ports in the San Pedro Bay Complex, the Port of LA and the Port of Long Beach, to move forward with a substantive agenda to reduce emissions. And in fact, at that point, our environmental planning director, who was responsible for the structure of the 2005 Greenport policy, at that point in 2006, was the executive director of the Port of LA, Geraldine Nance. So it was a great collaborative endeavor that both these ports took on. And now we look back, the results have been significant reduction in particulate matter as relates to trucks at the 97th percentile, SOx at the 97th percentile, and NOx, of course, at around 49 percentile. And I think we've crept up to around 52%. So with that, again, is an example of what we've done with regard to an environmental agenda. Because, again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that when we talk about cargo volume, that is not the most important thing for the Port of Long Beach when we talk about record years of container movement. Needless to say that it is important for our revenue. That's 76% of our revenue. But what's also as important is what we continue to do to address the concerns of our community, the concerns of our neighborhood, to make sure that our environmental social governance commitment is truly one that, again, we show some great metrics. So our quest today is to move forward to zero emission. Now, I will tell you that the Port of Long Beach is the first seaport in the country to have public charging stations. And again, this is our commitment to move forward and get ready for zero emission cargo handling equipment. Now, our goal is to be zero emission in terms of cargo handling equipment by 2030. But let me just give you a context of what that challenge is. By 2035, which is the year that we are to have all zero emission trucks, which I believe will get there earlier, but by 2035, consultants who have addressed this issue have indicated that we need in this region 4,000 public charging stations and 1,300 public charging stations in the San Pedro Bay Complex immediate area. So needless to say, quite a challenge. But again, I think the fact that the Port of Long Beach now has moved forward with having some public charging stations, admittedly de minimis, but it's a road to the success that we're going to accomplish here in the future. And as you all know, we have the state-of-the-art terminal, the Long Beach Container Terminal, that has a substantial reduction in emissions. In fact, that terminal now moves twice the cargo it did before the development with half the emissions. So we're investing millions of dollars in our environmental program, the TAP program, Technology Advancement Program, and again, moving forward with demonstration projects not only of trucks, cargo handling equipment, together in our partnership with the Port of Los Angeles. Let me give you a couple other aspects about the Port of Long Beach. We have at the Port of Long Beach today, 17% of our cargo handling equipment at our terminals is zero emission. Now, that number may not be a great number for those who expect this to happen tomorrow, that is zero emission, but I will tell you that the Port of Long Beach has the most cargo handling equipment at a port authority of any port in the country. So needless to say, we've accomplished so much in such a little time, and again, the evolving of technology. So I do look forward that today at the Port of Long Beach, we don't talk just about reducing emissions, we are talking about eliminating emissions. So I'd like to thank our community, I'd like to thank our stakeholders, our terminals, our local stakeholders, our truck drivers, and the carriers for all the collaborative spirit and moving forward to make sure that we are and continue to be a green port in terms of our leadership in that agenda and what we are going to accomplish at the end of this decade. So with that, thank you so much for taking this time. And again, welcome to the Greenport Fest. And next year, it's even going to be a greater endeavor because we're going to have a lot of milestones to celebrate for next year. So thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Mario. And again, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire Port of Long Beach team, and I see many of my colleagues here in front of us, thanks again for joining us today. And again, please make sure and visit our exhibits, learn about all the Greenport programs, many of which you heard Mario and our commissioner describe, and see what we're doing to become the first zero emissions port in the country, the world, and the galaxy. Please enjoy the music of Knight Rider, the food, the face painting, the kids' train ride, and for the older kids, 21 and older, make sure you visit our beer and wine garden. And again, please join me in thanking the awesome staff who put this on, our communications team led by Carrie Giroux, as Mario mentioned. And as you post to social media, friends, I encourage you to tag Port of Long Beach and use the hashtag GreenPortFair. Again, thank you all for having us be part of this welcome. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the weekend. Take care. And don't forget to get there. Sammy the Seal.